Porky's Movie Mystery could have been a cartoon that I absolutely loved, but honestly, I found it to be a little bit all over the place and not that engaging. This is a Warner Brothers cartoon from 1939. It's directed by Robert Clampett, written by Ernest Gee, with voices provided by Mel Blanc, Sara, Berner, Danny Webb, and Billy Bletcher. And Mel Blanc, of course, voices Porky Pig, who is eventually, I'd say about halfway through the cartoon, called upon as the character of Mr. Moto to help solve the mystery of the invisible man who is plaguing studios in Hollywood. And that sounds really fascinating. Something I've mentioned before. I love it when animations do TV studios and film studios. I think it's always such good fun. And yeah, those bits were okay. There was a bit with Frankenstein's creature that I thought was pretty good. So there were some good bits. But actually, interestingly for me, I started to lose interest once Porky came into it. Now, I love Porky Pig. He is my favourite Warner Brothers character. And usually, if Porky's not in one of his cartoons that much, it annoys me. But actually, once he came into it, I didn't like his character. I really didn't like his character at all, and I just didn't care for him. I wasn't interested in watching him in this, and I don't think. Well, I can't say he didn't add anything to it because he obviously did help to carry the narrative forward, but I just didn't find it to be that interesting. I also don't know that much about this character of Mr. Moto. It is apparently based on a real character, a Japanese character. So maybe for me, seeing Porky in this role, it didn't work. Maybe if I knew more about that character, it might have done. I'd love to know what you think of this, particularly if you're aware of this character and you know anything about the character and can draw upon the source material. But for me, there wasn't anything there, and I didn't think the cartoon was eerie enough to be dealing with this subject matter. It was well enough animated. There's no point in me saying it wasn't, because credit where it's due. It was well enough animated, and the pacing wasn't great in terms of bringing Porky into it, but in terms of things that happened, I don't think anything specific lasted longer than it should have done. So I'm in two minds about whether or not the pacing was very good. But in general, I just didn't care for it. And I'm surprised because I love Porky Pig, but I don't like him in this role, and I feel like nothing of any interest happened once he came into it. So for me personally, Porky's Movie Mystery, honestly, it was a tremendous disappointment, as the description is something I should absolutely adore, but it just didn't work.